Saint Terry is teaching the Hancock sisters well about the use of Kai. After all, it was the future 4 emperors that Saint Terry personally named here. Saint Terry is still teaching her very carefully here. Teach yourself. Yes, the use of this power is more demanding than hockey. It requires one's own perception. Looks like Hancock has more talent than Sandersonia and Marigold. Hancock, who was only 13 years old, shook her head proudly, her face showing a reddish sheen, and she was very grateful for Saint Terry's praise. She's actually kind of infatuated with Saint Terry. How to say? Perfect, it is the perfect existence. Can't find any problem at all, if there is. That must be the incompetence of Saint Terry's men. Has Hancock sensed Kai already? Not bad. Saint Terry here, don't be discouraged by Sandersonia and Marigold, your talent is not bad, but for now, you are not enough, you are too young to channel the life energy contained in your muscles. But it doesn't matter, I will help you. Saint Terry naturally has a variety of methods. Hancock blushed slightly. Is that what happened that night? That evening, the 3 sisters were led and empowered by Saint Terry. That intimate gesture, Hancock, who made love for the first time. Really shy. The key is, their growth and Saint Terry also have a very close connection. Yes. It's just a little bit more violent than that night. Because this time it's going to give you more power. This time it will be very painful, after all, you will have to change your roots. For you to learn the cultivation of Qi, your current talent is not enough. When you are completely used to it, I will give you contact with the power of spiritual power. Let you be completely able to protect yourself in this world. This voice, I heard among the flowers of Imam. Directly want to kill immediately to the virtual night palace where Saint Terry is located. The playful energy in my heart. Let I am directly. Can't stand it. Looking back at the beginning, I learned Qi. I don't see you helping me wash my bones and make me more talented. It just kept me exploring. Now, just a few little maids are worth dealing with like this. Then about the power of spiritual power, you didn't let me touch it, and now the mere maid, have you considered the future for her? Uh-huh. Why? Is it because she was chosen to settle down the sea and become that 4 emperors? Yim felt that he couldn't even compare to a little maid. It's hard to accept. Does Terry specialize in slaughtering? Just because I'm nice to him, so you're staring at me for wool? No. Can't stand it. I have to ask him. I am roared at Stussy, his closest subordinate now. Stussy. Arrange for me to go to Terry's place. Let the door fruit person come and open the door for me. Stussy whispered in Im's ear. Master Yimu, the original door fruit person was killed by the pirates. Now the fruit of the door is in the hands of His Royal Highness Saint Terry, in the handmaiden beside him. How much has your nobleman forgotten, have you forgotten? I am heard the blue veins on his forehead again. Why, Terry, he got the door fruit again. What about the lion fruit? Let that capable person come over and give me a ride, I'm going to Suya Palace. The Void Knight Palace is really too big and too wide. Rushing alone, that is too much trouble. Stussy whispered again. Master Yimu, have you forgotten too? Saint Terry had already got the lion fruit and hid it, saying it was too rubbish. Some clowns who jumped on the beam would jump with confidence when they took this fruit. It's better to hide it as a collection. I am holding on. And what about the gravity fruit? The gravity fruit, also in Saint Terry's hands, is said to be paired with the lion fruit, which is not easy to get. Mirror fruit? I remember the mirror fruit on Charlotte Linlin's daughter was also obtained by the CPO? Used by the 5 elders as a gift to His Highness Saint Terry. Can't play anymore. Damn Terry. What are you doing with so many practical fruits in your hands? Gone. Mother is not playing. The old lady was angry herself. Fly over with air dance. Good. Very good. I'll go over here. Terry. I'm coming for you. Negotiate well. Saint Terry here is not yet aware of the menacing imminent coming. Still teaching the 3 Hancock sisters about the usage of Kai. Help them improve their fighting power. Until Stussy, this CP0 beauty who has been helping to run back and forth to spread the word. Using the phone bug, start talking to Saint Terry. His Royal Highness Saint Terry, Your Highness Saint Terry, Lord I am here she is. I am Sama, she's here. She was a little jealous, and asked His Royal Highness Saint Terry to pay more attention. Stussy, as I'm side, this is called being in Kaoing and being in Han at heart. Even if I am can control her Stussy ownership, but she can't decide who she Stussy wants to take refuge with. Anyway, she is also from His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Known by I am, Her Royal Highness Saint Terry will also save her life. At that time, if the face was torn apart, she could even justifiably follow His Royal Highness Saint Terry. I see. Stussy, if you have time, come to the Suya Palace, I miss you a bit. Yes. His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Stussy hung up the phone reluctantly. And Saint Terry stopped what he was doing here. Glancing at the three Hancock sisters, let them go. Jealous? I am jealous of me again? Is she the reincarnation of vinegar essence? I didn't do anything. Is it bad to eat vinegar like this? I also get close to the maids, teach them chi, spiritual power, chakra, haki, spiritual energy, physical skills, and give them devil fruit. By the way, arrest and stimulate Fisher Tiger, let him make trouble with Mariajoy, and free the slaves. Therefore, I specially made number 0 Espada, and killed all those celestial dragons who were disobedient and did not listen to reforms, and poured dirty water on the body of Shelter Tiger. I am. What kind of dry vinegar does she eat? Oh right. You have to leave a few celestial dragons with deep sense of righteousness, self-sacrifice, cooperate with the unborn Luffy to act, let Luffy be deeply infected, and then shout that I want to be a partner of justice. Bang bang bang. The whole body exudes a strong breath. Yimu, who was rushing towards the Void Knight Palace, was taken aback. Wait. What Terry said a while ago, not fake. He even wants to actually kill the celestial dragons. I don't eat vinegar, but this question mark really got up. Are celestial dragons wholesale? Is it really considered a consumable like that? Kid. When I say this, it's not that I think there is a problem. But I think you have a problem. I am coming. A little bit of news from St. Terry's side at first. She came over with all her might, it doesn't look jealous anymore. What's the matter? I am. Should she be here on that day? St. Terry smiles, enchanted I am. But that's not a reason for I am to keep indulging him. Terry. I ask you, thoughts on celestial dragons? The idea of celestial dragons? What's wrong? Didn't you ask last time? One race and one rich, come over and give me money, and let me give them eternal life. Actually, I have already received the money, prepared them with new bodies, and was always ready to drain their souls. Wait 5 years later, Hancock's strength is strong, Fisher Tiger can directly liberate Mariajoy. Hancock escaped to Nine Snake Island along with being liberated, and then. Beautiful. Celestial dragons, these fat pigs, let's say goodbye to those slaves. Really gotta get on those celestial dragons, it's so simple. Eternal temptation, just make those celestial dragons flock to. One big fat pig races one by one, Terry, he's not yet 20, he wants Bailey. Just a lot of devil fruit and famous knives and swords. Then these devil fruits, famous knives, famous swords. Issue directly, just make a bunch of minions. I am twitching, she wanted to question Terry's thoughts. How could he be so cruel to his fellow man, but now even I am thinks those celestial dragons are too much. Compared with Terry, it's just junk, simply. Don't be afraid of comparing goods, just be afraid of comparing people. I want to come over and ask, are those people bothering you too much? Asking you for eternal life all day long, I can't stand it anymore. Im's voice was playful. Really? Am, you don't think so, do you? What St. Terry felt was a little bit of anger in I am. Depressed, bored? Sure enough, that day. Will she come now? Then I have to give full play to my boyfriend's nature? St. Terry just finished thinking about it. Remember to drink plenty of hot water, I am. It's okay, these few days, don't worry about it. Let the 5 elders do their best. I am full of question marks. I mean you got those things about celestial dragons. I am trying to explain, I'm a little troubled. Because it is not easy to directly point out what St. Terry did wrong. Emotionally hurt too much. I understand, they do have a big problem, that's why you're in a hurry. It's alright. I am, drink more hot water. Better mix it with brown sugar. Terry smiled and pulled her hand warmly, come and play it warm in the palm of your hand. Embarrassed even more, I am pulled out grumpily. I didn't mean that. I mean is there anything wrong with immortality? Celestial dragons' lives are lives. Terry. Terry also nodded along with I am. Yes. The lives of celestial dragons are more precious. After all, they are the descendants of the establishment of the world government. Very important. Oh. I am really getting more irritable. Sure enough, this is what it means, no, you have to avoid it. Is this the end of coaxing? She was so confused that she said, Celestial Dragon's life is also her life. Is it really okay? Celestial Dragons is expensive? Veins swelled up Im's forehead. after taking deep breaths again and again. She finally got to the point. Terry, listen to me. Celestial dragons' lives matter, about Uranus this. But. Halfway through. The maid of the Suyu of St. Terry just broke in, interrupted her emotions and words. I'm sorry. Your Highness St. Terry, Lord I am. Mrs. Rouge was born, a boy, and when Mrs. Rouge woke up, she said she had decided to name her Ace. Dong dong dong. Im's head was hit like a blow. Is what he said true? Ace? Wasn't there a name for it before? Could it be that the Son of Destiny might really appear? I am froze in place. And where would Terry stop like this? Okay. I'll go now, I am. You rest here first, I'll take a look and come back. I am watching St. Terry go away. I still doubt the Son of Destiny in my heart. After all, the power of Uranus, once charged, it can destroy a country with one hit. Requires celestial dragons to start, and celestial dragons. And many more. It's not right. Terry, he can create subordinates who can destroy the country with a single blow. What is the Uranus weapon? What the hell am I stuck with in the past? I am just found out. Era, it has changed. In this era, it's called St. Terry. When St. Terry arrived at the delivery room. There's already Garp there, protected as a grandfather. Ace, it's grandpa. It's grandpa. Ace for infants and toddlers. Tugging at Garp's beard and face with little hands. Garp is not angry at all, he even laughed and coaxed Ace. Half-white Garp rarely showed a kind and reliable smile. It's just this smile after seeing the arrival of St. Terry. It dissipated. St. Terry, Garp took a step back involuntarily. Many emotions in my heart are suppressed, no way to explode. St. Terry naturally doesn't care about Garp's ideas. With a smile on his face, he looked at the infant who inherited the wrinkled skin. Is this Ace? Yes. Cute enough, isn't it? Garp Vice Admiral? Garp's heart sank. He was afraid that St. Terry would just take the child away. What tragic inhumane cultivation, it's really cute. Garp was afraid to change direction when St. Terry spoke. At that time, Garp has no ability to resist at all. Can result, St. Terry's next sentence. Warm Garp's heart. So take good care of him, Garp Vice Admiral, on Mariajoy, in front of Rouge. Thanks. That's what I promised, isn't it? Ace, he is the future. The hope of future times, and I hope he thrives. Garp's heart moved. St. Terry glanced at Ace, then stepped out of the room. I'll go see Rouge first. Her mother can't have an accident. Ace will let Shu Yu take care of it first. Garp Vice Admiral, you are also old. If the hands and feet are too thick, it will be bad if the child is hurt. Shu Yu is a person with the ability of Yu fruit, and gentleness is her strength. After all, you are Garp the Fist. Your fists are hard, but you can't hold your family and children. St. Terry's words were slightly mean, and Garp was immersed. Ah. Okay. Garp was taken away by the maid, Shu Yu, and suddenly he didn't care much. He stared blankly at his hands. It's really too rough. Too strong, he couldn't even protect his own son. By the way, Garp, what kind of men does your son Dragon like? You know. I want to send him some men. Garp. After St. Terry watched the birth of Ace. He also received information from his subordinates. Kozuki Oden committed suicide with his own son Momosuke? He gave Senju Hashirama the instructions of his wife and daughter, and Senju Hashirama to me. St. Terry almost didn't laugh. His Royal Highness St. Terry, Kozuki Shi and Kozuki Hyori, have 2 days to go and will reach Mariajoy, so. Ulquiorra under his hands asked for information about St. Terry. He wants to serve St. Terry, just taking care of pregnant women at Mariajoy. Ulquiorra has lost the meaning of life, might as well stay with the Whitebeard pirates. Watch Marshal D teach perform. You are not responsible for this, Ulquiorra. Hannibal. His Royal Highness St. Terry, I am here. As the words of St. Terry fell, the blonde, dark-skinned number 3 Espada stepped out of the shadows. As for the placement of Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori upon arrival at Mariajoy, I leave it to you. I won't see Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori in the near future, no, within 3 months, until Senju Hashirama comes back. So I need you to take good care of their mother and daughter. Talking and talking, the corners of St. Terry's mouth twitched slightly. Deliberately put emphasis on the tone of take good care. You are the number 3 Espada who represents the meaning of the sacrifice, of human death, and the number 3 Espada with the power of sacrifice. Don't let me down, Hannibal. I want to see Kozuki. who gave everything to me for the resurrection of her husband and for her daughter to not become a slave or maid in marriagejoy, but took the initiative to sacrifice to me. Do you understand? Kozuki is so important to me. The strength of this woman is a key step for us to climb higher. Saint Terry even patted Tia Haliber on the shoulder to express his optimism about Halibal. Yes, His Royal Highness Saint Terry will live up to your mission. Then let's go. Act with my word of mouth. It's time for the staff of the Suya Palace to be dispatched. Tia Haliber left the hospital's care ward in an instant using the ring Zhuan. Tia Haribel is also suffocated into Amaterasu Gu pregnant rouge. It just drives her crazy, that rouge grinding words in her ear all day long. Said the joy of being a wife, pregnant sweetness. Love for children. But Tia Haribel she didn't understand. Really don't understand, she is imaginary. Is it really possible to conceive a child of His Royal Highness Saint Terry? Does she really have a love for His Royal Highness Saint Terry? In vain, born to lack a certain residual emotion. Tia Libel only found the words rouge whispered in her ear noisy. Ulquiorra, go and call me Grimjiao and say you too have a new duty. This mission requires him to fight. Ulquiorra also wanted to go out and work harder for His Royal Highness Saint Terry to climb higher. Seeing that Tia Haliber was out on a mission, he is very hot. Now all of a sudden His Royal Highness Saint Terry began to dispatch him. Ulquiorra was instantly refreshed. Although I don't know why Grimjiao, who is weaker than him, is used as a combatant. But it doesn't matter. Everything is the will of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. He does it. Better than taking care of pregnant women in the delivery room. Follow your orders, Your Highness Saint Terry. After speaking, he instantly used the ring to start searching for Grimjiao on a large scale. The kind of search force that digs 3 feet into the ground. Soon, Ulquiorra is on the roof, saw the existence of Grimjiao, Gia Jack. He is vain, actually smoking a cigar there. Dried Mariajoy's wine out of thin air, his eyes stared blankly at the sky. Can Shu also live so decadently? Grimjiao, what happened to him? Grimjiao, His Royal Highness Saint Terry has an order for you to go to him quickly with me and wait for the order to be dispatched. This time there is an important task for you and me, and His Royal Highness Saint Terry also said that you need to fight. Just heard this, Grimjiao's empty expression immediately turned around. The wine was thrown away, the cigar was crushed with one hand. The decadent and vicissitudes of life of the middle-aged man who had just been crushed by life completely dissipated. All that was left was his frantic gaze at Ulquiorra. Real? That look is no joke. Grimjiao he came alive. Simply. Ulquiorra just couldn't understand why Grimjiao was a fighter. Now I understand, because Grimjiao he's a fighter. Mingming Kai's feat, however, he still likes to arrogantly make a kunzi agreement with the enemy, and fight with the spirit of chivalry. Probably this is called people's vegetable addiction. Sure enough, His Royal Highness Saint Terry understood us. Create us, give us life, will understand our hearts. That's why in the hospital let's hone our Xinsheng. This is estimated to be called, heaven will send a great responsibility to the people, and they must first suffer their will. Of course it is true, there is no need for me to deceive you in the name of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. That's right. You are the one who respects His Highness Saint Terry the most among us. That's right. Ha 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 ha. That means I Grimjiao can finally get out of this damn hospital cage. Grimjiao he clearly has a problem. In the past, the problem was, people are addicted to vegetables. Now it is estimated that I am fooled by the hard heart of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. He, so useless, the training of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Still can't see clearly. Hurry up. Here I go. Here I am. Your Highness Saint Terry. I, Grimjiao, are your faithful servants. It is very good that you have not forgotten me. Grimjiao suddenly used the advanced technique of ringing this virtual space. Makes Ulquiorra jaw-dropping, and many more. Isn't Grimjiao the number 6 espada? How could he be ringing? Ulquiorra stayed, advanced skills that only the first 4 espada will have. Why did Grimjiao suddenly meet? Is this hospital really so grinding people? Or did His Royal Highness Saint Terry open a small stove for him? Nope. His Royal Highness Saint Terry opened a small stove specially for that Halibal. After all, it's a female espada, it should also get attention. It's a pity. I'm not a woman. Ulquiorra thought of this with some regret. If he is also a woman, how nice. Spend more time with His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Ulquiorra didn't ask much, then follow Grimjiao to keep pace with the swivel. Only to find that Grimjiao's speed is no less than his outburst in this matter. So amazed, causing discomfort in Ulquiorra. He tried to catch up with Grimmjow but couldn't catch up for a while. Because it took 2 or 3 steps to reach His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Ulquiorra can only attribute all the reasons to the depth of the conspiracy of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Grimmjow grew up with this hospital beating, quit. Saint Terry sits on a bench outside his single luxury ward in the hospital. Seeing Grimmjow come to him faster than Ulquiorra, Saint Terry didn't care about Grimmjow's hard work. And the key is, he saw the deterrent of Grimmjow. Under Grimmjow's fierce blue eyes, the CPO members who were still in the group before, one quicker than the other using moonwalk and shave clears the way. Obviously, Grimmjow he has conquered those CP0s with strength and temper. His Royal Highness Saint Terry, here I come. Defiant Grimmjow, get rid of those CPOs. Even out of the corner of the eye can't be bothered to look at them. He then knelt down on one knee in front of Saint Terry. His Royal Highness Saint Terry. At the same time, Ulquiorra followed suit on one knee. Saint Terry waves to the members of the CPO. You CPOs have given me a lot of attention to Ace, Rouge, and Garp, and have Sengoku come over for a run. He's about to be promoted to Marshal. Ace's training requires more effort from him. Didn't he want Corazon to be resurrected? Let him come and take care of Ace. CP0 obeyed a few orders and immediately disappeared in place. Saint Terry snapped his fingers, the entire room was opened up. Coated with a black translucent pattern. Now that Odin is dead, there's definitely going to be a shock in Whitebeard. Ulquiorra, you go follow Whitebeard for news. See if he will resurrect Kozuki Odin, or he will still stick to his heart and not use the quota. If he uses the quota to resurrect Odin, then let him directly start preparing the price, and the price is the life and soul of the teach under his hand that you recommended to me. If Whitebeard insists on not using the resurrection quota to resurrect Odin, then you will give him another resurrection qualification. Give him 3 more candidates for resurrection. Saint Terry smiled. After all, Whitebeard always sticks to the bottom line. Have not used that qualification, so no matter how much Saint Terry gives him, it's all in vain. Just a symbolic meaning. Yes. Ulquiorra nodded. But, Ulquiorra, listen, the teach you recommended to me last time, I don't like him, he's arrogant and cowardly, arrogant and terribly timid, a little clever, but not a big deal. Better than Kaido, it's so close. The candidate I want is an ambitious person who is confident and strong, and understands the thing called rules. Like Teach, wantonly breaking the rules, only know fear, but don't understand the rubbish of awe. Next time you see it, just deal with it. So this time, no matter what, don't come back after you go to Whitebeard's ship. Go join Marine, join recruit camp, learn everything hard, and save Grimmjow's life at a critical moment. Ulquiorra's half-kneeling gesture received orders from Saint Terry. He has no doubts, for the order of Saint Terry. He never asks any questions from, even now Saint Terry's punishment. He readily accepted. Even if you follow Grimmjow on a mission, he will not have any dissatisfaction, although Grimmjow is really tasty. Yes, His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Grimmjow's cheeks twitched when he heard this. How could he be ridiculed that he had gotten to this point? Grimmjow, your mission is different from Ulquiorra. You're going to challenge me. Follow a red-haired boy named Shanks, follow him, fight him, drink with him, travel with him, whatever you like best way. Follow him all the way, and if he invites you to get on board, then you can get on board. Do you understand what I mean? When he invites you to participate in activities, you can get on the boat safely, give full play to your most natural thoughts, and make a good move. Grimmjow's face twitched, he didn't know how to express his emotions. But he was upset, unhappy to ultimate, first here in Saint Terry. He said directly that Ulquiorra wanted to protect him. And then let him Grimmjow to be someone else's subordinate. I know your dissatisfaction, but Grimmjow, you have to know that you and Ulquiorra are given life completely according to my power. You are not directly reincarnated from the dead, but completely created by me. Even the memory and common sense is what I give. So you and Ulquiorra, let's have a good experience of life, and help me kill a few chaotic children. Gather up the souls of those who do evil, taste it, and try to grow. Grimmjow sent to Redheads, of course there is no intention. The first is to announce to the world, members of the Night Palace can be recruited. Make the world hot, members of the Night Palace. But all of them are powerful. And Saint Terry let the members of the virtual Night Palace spread to the world. Let them join the forces of all parties, so that means that Saint Terry has become a god-like existence. It shows that he is completely isolated from the world and does not care about the world. Secondly, for Grimmjow and Ulquiorra to grow. How to say, without the existence of the original soul, it is difficult to continue to grow, it is difficult to be further empowered by Saint Terry. They lack all aspects of life. For example, to become an immortal is to gather the 3 flowers and 5 chi to the yuan, and finally experience the world, and reach the realm of beheading 3 corpses. But Ulquiorra and Grimmjow don't know good and evil, and have no real emotions of their own. Difficult to continue to grow. Like number 3 Espada, her soul is to experience all kinds of Shinigami world. Continue to be brought to life by Saint Terry. She is emotionally rich, enough to endure the Kai and chakra that Saint Terry will give her next. Her life body has faded away, and she is mixed with Shinigami, a pure spiritual child. After all, the voids have been filled, how is she? Also grown, now Tia Haliber, it is more between man and God. Too bad Ulquiorra is different from Grimmjow. No soul. Didn't grow up. Saint Terry considers the subordinate he has squeezed out of his own hands. Always in mind, just let the 2 of them experience the experience in the world outside. Experience life. Fill in all the emotions that are lacking in the virtual whole. Then after that, Saint Terry will continue to evolve them. Last of the last, let Ulquiorra join Marine. With Jhin Grimmjow helping the redhead, of course, it can also make Kaido anxious. Didn't Kaido like Grimmjow very much? Then I will not give it to you. I'm just grinding your temper, check out Kaido's fun. It's also quite interesting. Kaido, who stared at Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama's mighty strength all day. He must not be in a hurry, do everything you can to listen to? That's Espada 1 and Espada 2, Kaido is not hot. That must be a fart. You can eat these 2 fruits. Although it doesn't help you much, Saint Terry said and took out 2 Logia fruits. They are dark fruit and gust fruit. One ability is to double the pain, but as long as the pain is endured, the damage can be completely nullified. It can also nullify all fruit abilities, and absorb the fruits of others and extract them from others. One is to turn itself into the natural disaster of the storm, so as to control the weather. How you choose is up to you to discuss. Go ahead and do as I order now. Saint Terry waved his hand, the 2 fruits were instantly divided up. Wind fruit, Grimmjow, dark fruit, Ulquiorra. Very simple assignment, because Ulquiorra is painless and has super fast regeneration. And Grimmjow, his panther form, is more in line with the storm. Looking at Ulquiorra far away, and Grimmjow. Saint Terry is almost completely settled here. Next day. The mess is over. Wait until Luffy is born, and then act in a big drama. It's been a week since Saint Terry sent Ulquiorra and Grimmjow out. The news of Espada No. 1, Espada no 2 Wanwanokuni in one fell swoop, swept Kaido, and Kozuki Oden saw the hero leave a letter to apologize to himself, spread all over the sea. That No. 1 Espada, Uchiha Madara and No. 2 Espada, Haki of Senju Hashirama. It also spread across the sea. Espada, Espada, No. 1 Espada, No. 2 Espada, that is the terrifying existence under Saint Terry. Now suddenly born, and one Kozuki Oden, Kaido and Wanokuni in one fell swoop. This violent gesture is really unimaginable. What's even more unimaginable is that. Hasn't Kaido taken refuge with His Highness Celestial Dragons? Daddy? Why did Kaido get cleaned up too? And Oden also. On the Moby Dick, Marco took the new paper and read it to Whitebeard. Let Whitebeard sigh. Kaido was swept away. Did Oden cut himself off? Oden. My brother. While talking, Whitebeard took another sip. His contemporaries were disappearing one by one, and the people he knew had already left 7 or 8 in just 1 year. Roger, Shiki, Linlin, Silver Axe, John, Ochaku, Oden. Who should be next? Maybe it wasn't suicide. Dad. Marco wanted to say something. Already committed suicide. Since Oden has leisure and elegance, he can still say in his suicide note that he has no regrets in this life. This is enough to show his wishes. Even if Oden didn't commit suicide, how can it be? To let his dear sons die with him? To deal with the so-called No. 1 Espada and No. 2 Espada? He Whitebeard could endure losing his life, but what about his now fettered sons? It was a deadly battle. On the occasion of Whitebeard's emotion. A familiar black-winged figure descended from the sky. With an incomparable momentum, a thump sound made Whitebeard narrow his eyes. This familiar figure seems to be stronger than the previous few months. Ulquiorra. Here you are. Did you come to see Papa? Ulquiorra, Espada 1 and Espada 2 of your Night Palace killed Oden. What do you say there? It is not surprising that the members of the Whitebeard ship are looking at the descending Ulquiorra at this moment. On the one hand, Thanksgiving on the other hand, it is suspected that the master served by Ulquiorra was inseparable from the killing of Odin. I have come to see Whitebeard, and I have an order issued by His Royal Highness Saint Terry personally, and I also ask you to make way. Compared to last time, Ulquiorra is defiant. This time, he is familiar with the road, and his attitude is much better. Let everyone on Whitebeard's boat listen to these words, and without stopping, let Ulquiorra come. Ulquiorra. You're here at the wrong time. Whitebeard sighed at Ulquiorra, who was approaching. You mean Odin's suicide? This matter has nothing to do with me, not with His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Odin died of his own accord. As Ulquiorra spoke, it will go back and forth before and after the detailed introduction. He wanted to emulate Roger and use his own death to push Wano Kuni forward. That's why he chose to cut himself. Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama also gave him full respect and courtesy. Hearing Ulquiorra's words, Whitebeard closed his eyes, and the pain in his heart intensified a bit. Damn it. Roger, it's all you. You were off to a good start. Let my brother follow you. Follow your example, and die together. But I'm not here to tell you the details. I'm here with your enquiry from His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Ulquiorra's words interrupted Whitebeard's thoughts. What query? His Royal Highness Saint Terry knows that Odin is your close partner, so he appreciates your Highness Saint Terry, so he sent me here to ask if you have to spend a qualification and pay a little price to resurrect Odin? As soon as this sentence comes out, the hidden taboo of the Whitebeard pirates torn apart. I was still arguing with those squad leaders just now. No one dared to make a sound, because Whitebeard, already angry. Ulquiorra, I don't think it's a surprise that you came here to ask about this matter. You and your Highness Saint Terry are well-intentioned, but in fact, after being selected, this qualification has become a ban on talking on my ship. Matters. No matter what, I, Whitebeard, will not use this price. Whitebeard did not lose his temper at Ulquiorra. Also explained in detail to Ulquiorra, it is full of alternative appreciation. Since that's the case, I understand. Then Whitebeard Edward Newgate, congratulations, you have once again obtained a qualification of His Royal Highness Saint Terry because of your persistence and heroism, which means that you now have a total of 3 qualifications, and you can resurrect 9 personal. For a time, the crew except Whitebeard couldn't help but swallowed. Such a resurrection, is it also a test? The test of the qualifications issued by the Suya Palace will be so full of setbacks and hardships? But it's also provocative, his provocation for Dad. Betting against Daddy. Dad, shouldn't he be angry? Will there be another battle? Ha 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 ha. Your Highness is really wicked, Ulquiorra. It's not easy to follow him, isn't it? Whitebeard is surprisingly calm here. There are no waves. The order of His Royal Highness Saint Terry is the meaning of my life. Really? So now that you have completed your mission, are you going to return to your life? Don't you stay for another 2 days? Whitebeard remains full of admiration for Ulquiorra. Even if you can't dig a foot in the wall, he also wanted to make an effort to make friends with Ulquiorra. At least someone like him will not die easily. Much stronger than Roger and Odin. No, I'm not going back to my life. Huh? There was energy in Whitebeard's eyes. What do you mean? He abandoned you. Do not. Except for His Royal Highness Saint Terry, who left number 3 Espada to perform resident missions in the Palace of Void Knights, all the rest of the members were sent to all parts of the world by him. He said that the life he created has grown up, and he has also taught how to be a human being. It's time to let the chicks spread their wings and go through hardships on their own. Ulquiorra is obviously a virtual, without emotion. Speaking of this, there is loneliness in his eyes. Until we fill the void in us with human emotions, we will never be able to return to His Royal Highness Saint Terry. As Ulquiorra spoke, he tore off his robe, revealing a hole in his chest. This void is the void of emotion that those of us have been raised by His Royal Highness Saint Terry to lack. Even for the convenience of my activities with Grimmjow, His Royal Highness Saint Terry distributed dark fruit and Grimmjow fruit to me in Grimmjow, so that I can protect myself. Last time many people wanted to ask about that void. What is it, but no one dared to speak, until now. The crowd on the Whitebeard ship, that's how I understand what it is. But, even more surprising is that a powerful member like Ulquiorra. That Saint Terry was willing to let them distribute them all over the world for training. What exactly is this? What a terrible mind. The members of this virtual night palace, as long as you gather one. It can completely stir up a lot of turbulence on the sea. #. Saint Terry, the Celestial Dragons. Is he ready to give power completely? This sea will eventually. Is it starting to boil again? Everyone felt that there was a strong feeling that the mountains and the rain were coming and the wind was filling the building. Whitebeard was also surprised at the same time. In other words, does he have a chance to recruit the Ulquiorra in front of him? The sad homeless man to whom he felt so dear. Whitebeard's heart moved. He's the one who does what he says. Boy, would you like to get on my boat? After everyone on the Whitebeard ship heard Dad's invitation. Also a surprise. How good is this? Agree now. Ulquiorra, we have a very close relationship with you. No, Whitebeard, your boat is not for me. Ulquiorra shook his head. Let the somewhat excited crew clench their fists. Hey, Ulquiorra, what do you mean by that? We are the Whitebeard pirates. What's not suitable? Is there a more suitable boat for you than Dad? Whitebeard's eyes were also full of questions. Ulquiorra's answer made Whitebeard even more distressed. Because of your strength, Whitebeard, the fleet is too stable, so I can't go. Because I got on your ship, I will be sheltered by you, just like your son. When will I be able to fill my void and return to His Royal Highness Saint Terry? Such a good man, nostalgic guy, what a pity. I understand, since that's the case, you can go. Use your strength well and go through hardships on this sea. Whitebeard accepts this fact more than his own sons. Father. But Ulquiorra he's an excellent medical expert. Shut up, you stupid sons. Ulquiorra has never forgotten his roots, he always just wants to return to Saint Terry's side. His mood is the same as you who are wandering outside wanting to return to our ship, there is no difference. Whitebeard's voice stopped his sons from being reckless. Didn't you hear? It's not that our Whitebeard pirates are not good enough. It's that our Whitebeard pirates are too strong. We can't let him experience all kinds of things in this world. But Ulquiorra, as long as I'm Whitebeard, there'll always be a place for you on my ship. If you ever figure it out, come over here. Whitebeard, for a pure idiot like Ulquiorra, I really like it so much. I will remember. Whitebeard, thank you for your understanding. Logtown, Redhead Shanks, it is also the toughest opponent ever encountered. Number 6 Espada, Grimjow. Jaw Jack. Redhead Shanks' head tingling. He was followed by this blue-haired and charming member of the Suya Palace to 2 consecutive towns. Simply, finally, still can't stand it. The battle started on an uninhabited island. Hey, I've never heard of an Espada like yours who eats devil fruit. The last time you were with Kaido, didn't it come out? Facing Shanks' questioning, Grimjow grinned. This is His Royal Highness Saint Terry, a security reward for Ulquiorra and I to leave the Palace of the Night for the safety and security of our experience. After all, we are now given a training mission by His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Finished. Twitched his fingers, hidden in the sea tornado and thunderbolt, the sharp blow of his Beastmaster's claw attacked Shanks. Damn. Is this the trick again? 533, you know I can swim. This trick doesn't mean much to me. Really? Then you'll know when you eat it, Shanks. Grimjow faced smiling Straw Hat boys like Shanks. He also smiled sincerely. Sure enough, guys like Shanks. Not bad. Better than taking care of pregnant women on Marriajoy. Damn it. You still have claw marks in there. Are you human? Grimjow, it will kill people. Shanks swinging his blade, using the mighty armament hockey to squeeze through the storm and lightning. But it was the blue claws that covered it that smashed down fiercely. He was completely knocked to the ground and vomited blood. Blood is the only way to fight. Shanks, bring out more of your strength. Don't let me down. Naval Headquarters, left Whitebeard's ship. Ulquiorra appeared directly outside the Naval Recruiting Military Academy at Naval Headquarters. It made a lot of headaches for people who were used to seeing the white robes of the Suya Palace. Mr. Zephyr, it's not good. Here comes the man from the Night Palace. It's the Ulquiorra who severely injured Whitebeard last time. What? His Highness Saint Terry has another mission. I'll go. When Zephyr heard the Suya Palace, he thought of Saint Terry, and when he thought of Saint Terry, he thought of his wife and son. The feeling of favor from the lost and found family made Zephyr, the poor old man, set off immediately. Driven out with a quick shave and moonwalk. Mr. Zephyr, how can you run so fast? Idiot, Mr. Zephyr captured Bullet some time ago, the right hand of the One Piece, of course he has strength. Now that I hear someone coming from Suya Palace, I must have come to the spirit. What do you think the people from Suya Palace are going to do? Isn't it to give Teacher Zephyr any other reward? I don't know, just follow along and have a look. A group of students followed Zephyr out, but he saw the familiar Ulquiorra bowing to Zephyr and introducing himself. Name: Ulquiorra. Cipher: sex, male, race, void. Age: 1-year-old. Position: number 4 espada of the highest power in the world government, Suya Palace. Taijutsu: fight against Whitebeard to get 64K degree. Marine 6 styles. Reach the highest state, and can use life return spontaneously. Haki usage level. All have reached the level of high-level Grandmaster. Devil Fruit. Logia Dark Fruit. Racial ability. As a special espada individual, each individual has different abilities, and my basic ability is no pain. Except for the core part being shattered, any damage to any part can regenerate super fast. Returning Blade's ability to liberate oneself. Can fly super fast. Can perform space transfer. Can use large-scale long-range lightning strikes. The purpose of this visit. According to the order of His Royal Highness Saint Terry, I hope to obey the naval training of naval headquarters, starting from the lowest level of naval training. Done. Quiet, complete tranquility. Many sailors still in the military academy have heard Ulquiorra's long list of self-introductions. What did they hear? I ate Logia Dark Fruit without pain. Isn't that equivalent to immune to death? Dark Fruit doubles the pain and reduces all damage. You can also regenerate all parts of the body super fast except the core. What is this playing? Able to fly fast, Grandmaster all Haki reach the advanced realm. Marine 6 styles are also fully developed. Taishu can even compete with the legendary Great Pirate Whitebeard. I ask a gentleman like you, why be a mere sailor? Why don't you go to the world government to make a name for yourself? Oh, he is already the espada of the Suya Palace, the highest power in the world government. The whole world already knows how terrible he is. That's all right. Are you telling the truth? Are you kidding me? After Zephyr heard these introductions, also stayed. Such a guy is much stronger than his teacher. Being a Marine is too. Yes. Obey the order of His Royal Highness Saint Terry, and also ask Zephyr instructor for more advice in the future. Ulquiorra even salutes Zephyr in the robes of the Night Palace. It's as strange as you want it to be. After all, Void Night Palace is Marine's superior department. What is this called? Zephyr's head grew bigger. Immediately, the Marine school also exploded. Come on. That's Ulquiorra, one of the legendary espadas. Damn it. He wants to be a sailor. The news quickly reached the marshal's office at naval headquarters. Let Sengoku, who just came back from Mariajoy, to take care of Ace. Brain confused. Xiaohei, what do you mean by this, His Royal Highness Saint Terry? What about this Ulquiorra? What should I do? This is called giving us back a grown seed in Marine. Look at Saint Terry, he kidnapped Guion. The future Marine 4 Admiral, turned into 3 again, and now return 1 more after eating the grown seedlings of Logia. Isn't it good? The future is still Marine 4 Admiral. I have already thought of the nickname. Aokiji, Kuzan. Akainu, Sakazuki. Kazaru, Peluzalino. Dark Demon, Ulquiorra. Crane Vice Admiral, with a grin on her old face. For Saint Terry, who abducted her good sister Guion and did not return it, Suru Vice Admiral began to retire. What? What a dark demon, this is too ugly. Mo Shu, it's almost the same. Mo Shu. What is Shu? Void is Ulquiorra's own race. What more magic do you need to add? Why are you doing that? Sengoku spoke righteously to Vice Admiral of Crane. Let the Crane Vice Admiral not refute. Okay, it's okay if you think it's okay. No way. My head hurts. Speaking of Garp people. I haven't seen anyone in days. He? Sengoku, you just got back from Mariajoy and you don't know? Crane Vice Admiral had a questioning look on his face. What's the matter? Garp has been on Mariajoy in the name of Saint Terry, eating delicious, drinking delicious food, enjoying the service, and taking care of that Ace in the name of Grandpa. He also said that he would wait until Ace's birthday. Choose a reliable demon's fruit for him. Garp. Sengoku suddenly burst out of anger. What the hell? Why was he so busy when he became the marshal? And Garp is hiding in Mariajoy and starting to have family fun? What AF asterisk king joke? No. I have to get him back. What the hell, Garp? Sengoku huffed and wanted to get out of the office. However, the crane grabbed the clothes and stopped him. Sengoku. Marshal? You don't think about running away to Mariajoy before you're done with your business, do you? No. You don't think I don't even see that, do you? Crane Vice Admiral began to taunt. At that time, weren't you the most high-spirited? You wanted to be a marshal. Why are you sluggish now after you became a marshal? Sengoku? Xiaohei, spare me. I want to rest too. It's been a while since Kozuki came to Mariajoy. Various scenes above Mariajoy made her deeply distressed and frightened. The raging tyrannical slaves of the celestial dragons in various gestures. There is also the practice of not treating human life as human life at all. Let one slave drink the brains of another slave. For example, let a slave be hunted by crocodiles and sea kings in a big fish tank for fun. And the limbs of the unloaded slave, just watching the beautiful woman bleed to death again and again. Let Kozuki call it straight. If it weren't for her hands and feet being bound with high-purity seastone at all times. Kozuki only wanted to use the power of the fruit of time. The place of right and wrong to leave here with his own daughter. Even if the enjoyment here is 10 times better than the outside world. But these days of anxiety are far from over, insecure. Totally insecure. As long as it is engraved with the seal of the dragon's hoof. So no matter how you want to escape, they will all be captured completely. Mrs. Kozuki, Ms. Kozuki Hyori, it's time to eat. Saint Terry's maid outside the door shouted at her like this. I am coming. Kozuki answered humbly. She thought she could serve Saint Terry servile at 20. Fight for 1 or 2 space with your own beauty. But in fact, even the maids waiting outside the door are only among equals. Not to mention that the maids all ate the fruits of Logia and mythical beasts, and their talents were extraordinary, surpassing ordinary people. Took 2 deep breaths, Kozuki secretly whispered to his daughter. Rihei, after you go out, you have to pay more attention and come back after eating. Well, I know, mother. Seeing her daughter's sensible appearance. Tears flowed from Kozuki's heart. In such a situation. How long does she have to wait tremblingly? When you really get out of the room door. When he came to the luxurious and sumptuous table, Kozuki found that he still underestimated the number of maids and female staff that Saint Terry had trained. Without Tia Hallible's guidance, Kozuki, who was leading his daughter Kozuki Hyori, only felt panic. Oh, there are so many people here. There are a full 40 people here. Hancock, haven't the 3 of you sisters been in the Suya Palace all the time? Why did they come back? There was a cute little mermaid smiling happily. Huh. His Royal Highness Saint Terry asked us to come back first and practice hard. There are preparations in the Void Knight Palace, and it is too dangerous for us to approach. The Hancock sisters acted casually, after experiencing the special love of His Royal Highness Saint Terry several times. They have already understood their unique place in Saint Terry's heart. Much taller than the average maid, it can be said that most of the maids present were not treated as well as hers. This is where the so-called sense of superiority of man over man arises. Huh? Who are these 2? The new sister. Hancock's eyes swept away. Focus on Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori. Yes, it was brought back from Wanokuni by Big Sister Hallible herself. Kozuki Shi and Kozuki Hyori. Little Mermaid shyly said with a grin. Having said that, Hancock looked at Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori up and down again. Obviously only 12 years old, but hockey will be hockey among the million people who are domineering and unreasonable. But crushed, when pressed against Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori. After all, Hancock didn't see Saint Terry meet the 2 in person. I didn't take it to the Suya Palace, it means that Kozuki Shi and Kozuki Hyori are nothing more than that. Now in the Palace of Saint Terry, the status of a woman can basically be summed up in one sentence. That's how much attention Saint Terry paid to that woman. The more frequently a woman is in contact, the higher her status is, no doubt about it. For example, the elusive Hallible who represents Saint Terry's speech. Her status is the most lofty among all the maids and female slaves. As for the others, that's not. After all, she was able to get Saint Terry's battle guidance meticulously. A level higher than other maids. So everyone had to put up with the arrogance she had already displayed. Really? Did Sister Hallible bring it back in person? Yes, I heard that His Royal Highness Saint Terry is here to take care of their wives and daughters. This incident with Kozuki Hyori when Saint Terry personally named Kozuki. Except for the knowledge of Tia Hallible, the rest of the women do not know. Hancock and the others thought that the situation was normal. I see. Also, let's invite Kozuki Shiki and Kozuki Hyori to enjoy a meal. Hancock made the queen in the harem, arrogant attitude. Silence everyone present. The same goes for Kozuki. After all, people are under the eaves and have to bow their heads. Okay, Sister Hancock. Kozuki smiled reluctantly, showing his modesty. Actually, this is just the beginning. In the days to come. When Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori became a maid without any human rights. Obey Hancock's orders and instructions. This sense of suffocation from the layers of pressure is more painful for Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori than the imprint of the dragon's hoof on the back. Because every now and then she would hear Hannibal and Hancock chatting like this. Sister Hannibal, there's always some celestial dragons out there looking after the sisters in our palace. Male and female? Of course it's a woman, the man is near our palace? Hancock said horrible things. The males were all driven away by the female celestial dragons, and the females were left to compete with each other. I just don't know if His Royal Highness Saint Terry will give it. Hannibal sensed Kozuki's eavesdropping, loud on purpose. That is definitely not the case. His Royal Highness Saint Terry is very concerned about women who have engraved his imprint. I just don't know if His Royal Highness Saint Terry will be soft-hearted and let women who have not yet engraved their imprint be let out. After all, certain celestial dragons' women are also the heart of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. You mean Kozuki and Kozuki Hyori? Hancock thoughtfully. Now that Hannibal's words have been released, that must have been targeted. Maybe it's me? I don't have any marks on my body, so you can't think about it. Hannibal sensed the figure of Kozuki fleeing in a hurry, and smiled warmly at Hancock. Hancock had to say, very domineering, it is very suitable for performing such a bad domineering queen image. Even if Hannibal didn't say a word, Hancock has also played to his true colors. I know. Unbeknownst to Hancock. When Kozuki heard that he and his daughter were about to be sent out, her heart was about to burst. Those are celestial dragons. Her Royal Highness Saint Terry here only has to endure Hancock's small temper and domineering. But elsewhere, then her daughter will be a total slave. Knowing that His Royal Highness Saint Terry has the power to turn life and death. Once the mother and daughter are completely away from Saint Terry, how will her husband and her son be resurrected in the future? No, really not, just wait like this. If this goes on, there is only a tragic end. Kozuki bit his lip while making up his mind. In Saint Terry's palace, the hall with two plaques, Kozuki Hyori, and Kozuki Hyori, is a very boring place. When Kozuki held his chopsticks, he lowered his head and lost his mind, thinking in his heart. Did that? His Royal Highness Saint Terry seem to have completely forgotten us? Just simply raising our mother and daughter? At this moment, a few coughs were heard, and Kozuki was startled and looked up to the side. Seeing Kozuki Hyori's weak and red-hot face, he accidentally pulled the chopsticks in his hand to the ground. Mother-sama. I didn't mean to. What happened to you, Hyori? Kozuki felt that something was wrong with his daughter. Kozuki Hyori didn't know what was wrong with him, and his little face was full of innocence. It's just hot all over, uncomfortable. When Kozuki touched his daughter's forehead, he found it was extremely hot. It was too hot, and the ruddy cheeks were extremely abnormal. How? You are sick, Hyori. Kozuki couldn't understand it at all. Although compared to Wanokuni, it lacks a lot of flavor and freedom. But the brocade clothes and jade food are not bad. Even the things that are used, it is also the most cherished thing in the world. I'm going to help you find a doctor. Rihei, you must be fine. When Kozuki knew that there were many people looking after this station, one after the other, she ran out. Just look at the female doctor kept in the palace of Saint Terry. How's it going? Is there something wrong with Hyori? The very beautiful female doctor shook her head. I can't find out, except for her fever. All her physical signs are extremely normal, even more active than ordinary people's indicators. The female doctor shook her head, she was helpless. This strange ailment can only be solved by His Royal Highness Saint Terry himself. I'm sorry, Mrs. Kozuki. I can only give her some antipyretics first. Thank you, doctor. Kozuki watched the doctor leave. Seeing her daughter getting more and more miserable, her heart just clenched. It was as painful as seeing her husband kill his son in person. Mother, am I going to die? No. Hyori, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'll go to His Royal Highness Hannibal for you now. She will definitely be able to contact His Highness Saint Terry, and he won't leave me alone. When Kozuki hurriedly calmed down his daughter and let her rest, he ran out immediately. Between runs when Kozuki. I just feel sad and small. In fact, even if she is now down and is being raised, she feels that it is okay, and there are still people around her. Even if Hancock scolds there, in fact, Kozuki can bear it, because Hancock's mouth is tofu. You mean Sister Hannibal? She's not here, she's been away for a long time and hasn't come back here. I guess she's helping His Royal Highness Saint Terry with his affairs. You want to see His Royal Highness Saint Terry? Then you have to wait in line. But now it happened, The anxiety in his heart exploded completely, the vague worry and the incoming threat gradually increased, and Kozuki finally woke up. Above this Mariajoy, no one can be trusted except that His Royal Highness Saint Terry. No matter who. But my daughter is ill, and the doctors in the palace can't see the problem, so the only way to find out is His Royal Highness Saint Terry. The doctor in the palace is the best doctor in the world. If they can't see it, then it is estimated that no one in the world can see it well. The implication is that only His Royal Highness Saint Terry can see it well. Just then, a maid walked outside the hall door. I also invited Mrs. Kozuki to come over. Our hostess, Sha Ligung, has invited me. Kozuki hesitated for a while, and finally went to see the so-called hostess Celestial Dragon's Sha Li Palace. Because only the Celestial Dragons have a little qualification to meet the current Saint Terry. When Kozuki was out of power, he was taken to a side hall not far away, and there was a beautiful Celestial Dragons girl sitting there. I have seen Sha Li's palace. Kozuki understood the situation very well, and clasped his head on the ground. And when the little eyes of that Sha Ligung stared at Kozuki, they immediately lit up. Kozuki is now dressed very simply, wearing an old light blue ruffle skirt. The silk material is in line with her identity, but because of the situation, she dare not dress too brightly, and the old clothes have faded. However, her beautiful face with bright eyes and white teeth and fair and clean skin could not be concealed, and her bulging and graceful figure was also a rare beauty in the world. This can make this Sha Li Gong, who also has a lesbian fetish, be moved. In the future, let Her Royal Highness Saint Terry let me in her, and Her Royal Highness Saint Terry 3. Thinking of this, Sha Li Gong couldn't help swallowing his own saliva. But business matters. The business of His Royal Highness Saint Terry is urgent. Come in. Let's sit down and talk. Sha Ligung excitedly picked up the teapot and poured her a cup of tea. When Kozuki stood still, he asked softly, "How dare you ask, under the Sha Li Palace, can I meet His Highness Saint Terry?" Sha Ligung said coldly, "You dare to ask me when you first came. I can indeed meet Saint Terry, so what?" Kozuki's heart was tense, she felt her mind sinking, and there was a panic that everything would stop. Sha Li Palace said again, "Madam, what is the fate of you rashly disturbing His Royal Highness Saint Terry?" Kozuki was also thinking about the worst. The biggest person in power here, Hancock, probably didn't want to have Kozuki and her daughter in the first place. Let their mother and daughter survive here, just to show their kindness. Now they are all offering food and clothing, and there are problems, so who is to blame? No wonder who. The best case scenario is that Saint Terry thinks badly about her. Will Saint Terry take her away? Kozuki is not sure now. Saint Terry doesn't seem to value himself very much, and he seems to have forgotten about it after so long. He is a young man who dominates the world. He is younger than himself. Although he is lustful, the women here are more beautiful than each other, and he doesn't seem to move much. Thinking of it this way, Saint Terry is really not necessarily willing to snatch himself. To do such things, he may have already done it. Kozuki didn't say a word, but his face became very pale. Sha Ligung took a deep breath and said kindly, "As long as you listen to me, I will help you find the master of my house and ask her to go over and intercede with His Highness Saint Terry." "How do you want me to listen to you?" Kozuki's tone was gloomy and his face was ashen. Sha Li Gong said, "You come first." When Kozuki didn't know what to do, he followed the words and stepped into the door, but he was careful to guard against this strange maid. When Kozuki met this person for the first time, of course she didn't trust her, and the light in Sha Ligung's beautiful eyes was obviously malicious, and Kozuki's heart was in his throat. Fortunately, that Sha Ligung didn't do anything violent to scare Kozuki. She just said calmly, "I don't believe you don't understand what I mean, as long as you." That Sha Ligung's gaze moved from Kozuki's glamorous face to her unconcealed figure. Suddenly, Kozuki's scalp felt numb, and there was an unpleasant aversion to cold on his body. That Sha Li Gong finally made it clear that Kozuki was embarrassed and annoyed, so he only dared to lower his head and dare not respond. "Don't pretend. If you dare to refuse me, you should know what will happen." Sha Ligung said fiercely behind him. "A person like you who can't get the protection of His Royal Highness Saint Terry, dare to defy the wishes of our celestial dragons?" When a word came to Kozuki's mouth, she couldn't say it. Because she knew that in 20 years, there would be a storm in this world, and there would be no more celestial dragons. But she finally said nothing, and it was useless to say anything to celestial dragons. When I saw at once, Kozuki already hated this person very much. If her daughter was not in danger, she would have left her face. "Stop." Sha Li Palace said angrily, "Don't think I don't know. You were originally a maid of His Royal Highness Saint Terry's maid, not much different from those women who clearly marked the price. Can you be arrogant? Or do you think you are favored by His Royal Highness Saint Terry? I tell you, Wano-kuni has also been conquered by His Highness Saint Terry, and your past status has only made your worth drop. Kozuki was in a hurry, but he didn't know how to argue. She has indeed lost her husband and has nowhere to go. Wano-kuni has indeed been handed over to Senju Hashirama now. However, do you have to explain how you behave yourself to this disgusting person in front of you? Can't explain it. After Kozuki was sullen, he was very sad again, thinking that the queen and princess who really lost their country will never be able to be innocent in their entire lives. She was so angry that her body only trembled, and when she was distracted, her sleeves suddenly became heavy. When she turned her head to look, she didn't know when Sha Ligang had come behind her and grabbed her sleeve. Kozuki immediately humiliated himself and said to himself, "Under the palace of Sha Li, I am defending for His Royal Highness Saint Terry, please respect yourself." When Xiao Palace saw Kozuki, she was very interested. The task of His Royal Highness Saint Terry has been completed, and this woman's mind has been ignited, so she does not need to continue to persecute. Anyway, when His Royal Highness Saint Terry gets you, I will play with you with His Highness Saint Terry. At that time, you still have to be mine. You can't escape. Let's talk, madam, better think about it again, it's better to stay with me than to be tainted by a trash slave and have children. I'm Celestial Dragons, if you make me happy, I may be able to improve your status and let you meet directly with His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Kozuki had etiquette before, but at this time, he was in a bad mood, and there was no good color, so he said coldly. I am the concubine of His Royal Highness Saint Terry, how can I be the dog of your Sha Li Palace? Where do you put the face of His Highness Saint Terry? Are you Celestial Dragons trying to bully His Highness Saint Terry's head? Fox fake Tiger Majesty, Kozuki can't wait to see Saint Terry dedicate himself to fulfill this status. She also wanted to understand when Kozuki, her current treatment under His Royal Highness Saint Terry is already at its peak. Instead of serving the woman in front of you, it's better to stay like a canary in the palace of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. At that time, there was a possibility that he would be favored by His Royal Highness Saint Terry and be eligible for resurrection. So that the family can be reunited. Yo-ho! I didn't expect you to become a martyr, if I hadn't erected a tombstone for you of the fallen queen. When Sha Ligang saw Kozuki, claiming to be his concubine, he laughed even more recklessly. That's it. Kozuki time. That's it, you can't resist. I've already fallen into the trap, although I don't know why His Royal Highness Saint Terry let me and Sister Hannibal come to bully you and let you fall into the trap. But you must be well appreciated by His Royal Highness Saint Terry. It's a pity that it's not enough now. You can't serve His Royal Highness Saint Terry as thoroughly and faithfully as a dog. Right now, you are just angered, a little bit of accelerant. When Sha Li Gong looked at Kozuki in front of her, she had an idea. Bullying and wounding Celestial Dragons, how about this crime? Ha, let's let you suffer from the world's suffering and completely wipe out your arrogance while you hang out with Kozuki. So, Xiao Palace is ready to wipe the oil. And when Kozuki threw it hard, she herself is a famous martial artist, with great strength, she threw off her sleeves at once. With a tug, that Xiao Palace was knocked to the ground by him, his cheeks fell heavily on the mud ground, and he suddenly cried out in pain. Kozuki's heart suddenly turned cold. Only the word, finished, comes to mind. She wounded Celestial Dragons with her hands. Regardless of her fall, she wanted to pull her up, but Xiao Gong simply lay on the ground and couldn't get up. Kozuki stared at the Xiao Palace lying on the ground with pear flowers and rain. Saw scars and bloodshots appearing on her forehead. When Kozuki finally couldn't hold back, he trembled in fear. Not daring to move, her eyes stared at Xiao Palace in horror. However, Sha Ligang pushed Kozuki on the ground so hard that he threw him to the ground, causing him to feel that Venus was rising and his face was hurting fiercely. Hearing Sha Ligang say again, "How dare you fight Celestial Dragons? You are finished. You are finished. You have hurt the face that Saint Terry loves most. You, a scumbag, go die. Die." Sha Ligang stood up again and scolded Kozuki as she faced him. And when Kozuki didn't even dare to use armament hockey, he ate these blows abruptly. Talk to you and don't listen, but you have to eat this shit. Sha Ligang threw off his sleeves. Wait. Kozuki time. You'll regret it. I'm going to send you and your daughter to hell. After Sha Ligang finished speaking, he left, leaving behind the cold words that made Kozuki fall into an ice cellar. Kozuki hurried back to the side hall where he and his daughter lived, and looked at the weak and lethargic daughter in front of her. Her heart ached, and her eyes were more uncomfortable than sand. It was even more painful than seeing his husband and his son die. The pain of being beaten is really nothing, just a little skin trauma, face, self-esteem and whole person being trampled and insulted. She can accept it. Because she is a mother. But when Kozuki, her daughter, is going to suffer humiliation and fall into hell with her, she can't stand it. That is something more terrifying than being wanton insulted in a kiln. The more Kozuki thought about it, the more panic and pain. Mother. Why are you crying? Kozuki Hyori felt her mother's emotions, opened her small eyes reluctantly, and shouted hard. Kozuki felt grief and anger in his heart, and immediately wiped his tears. His eyes were red and he tried to smile at Kozuki Hyori. It's all right, Rihei. Mom has found a doctor for you, and your illness will get better soon. Really? Really, Hyori, it'll be fine. When Kozuki hugged his daughter, he sang a cappella to soothe his daughter and put her to sleep. That hot body made Kozuki cry silently while singing and crying. How will it be better in the days to come? Who is the enemy? The enemy is himself. Kozuki has never had such a feeling in the past. In the past, the adventurous days were full of happiness and vengeance. When encountering unhappy things and people, they directly killed them. Now she can't do it, and can't do it. Just by accidentally confessing to celestial dragons, she was really angry, and now her situation is about to go to hell. Is this retribution? When I was a so-called knight in the Whitebeard Pirates, I had the same temper as that celestial dragons. Mom gave you medicine. Kozuki did not forget the doctor's instructions before. I just hope my daughter can ease her pain a little. Yeah. Kozuki Hyori replied obediently. Kozuki is not afraid of death, but there are things in the world that are far more painful than death. Look at the pained face of her daughter, and the guards and punishments of the approaching celestial dragons. If she doesn't do anything anymore, then her daughter will die painfully, leaving her in the world as a walking dead. Find another way? There is no way. If a man's money is someone else's prey, a woman's worth is also her looks. In addition to her appearance in Kozuki, there is something more valuable, that is, the ability of the fruit of time. She was determined to take the initiative to confess. The seastone handcuffs on her hands and feet were never released. So after thinking twice, she found Hancock, the most talkative person in the St. Terry Palace. Sister Hancock, I have something to tell you. I am actually the power of the fruit of time, and I hope to use this power to help His Royal Highness St. Terry. Please also get in touch with the people around His Royal Highness St. Terry. I will use this power to help him. It's a pity that what made Kozuki even more desperate was that her initiative to change did not get Hancock's response. Hancock looked at Kozuki like he was looking at trash. What qualifications do you have to meet His Royal Highness St. Terry? Just now something happened. The whole Mariajoy is your rumor. Dare to beat celestial dragons. Your Highness St. Terry's reputation has been ruined by you. Now that you have an accident, I thought of His Highness St. Terry, is it? The chill that is seen through from head to toe. Unable to respond when letting Kozuki reflect on it, with your daughter. While speaking, Hancock's hands were covered with powerful armament, hockey and spiritual power. Sister Suyu. Sister Silter. Let's take this damn bastard cheeky woman and her daughter together, and let them both make amends for the loss of face to His Royal Highness St. Terry. Hancock even called for the other maids to come to help. Palace fight. Hancock is very good at it. Don't underestimate her 12-year-old age. She is a woman from Nine Snake Island, and she has also experienced the competition of women in the Palace of St. Terry. Hancock instantly understood what His Highness St. Terry meant after Kozuki had just revealed the ability of the Fruit of Time. When you torture this Kozuki, help her loosen her bones and skins and make her honest. Otherwise, Hannibal wouldn't be allowed to arrest her personally. Hancock, so when I gave it to Kozuki, my memory was up. Let her understand that in this palace, in the absence of His Royal Highness St. Terry, who is the most beloved woman. On the other side, just leaving the Palace of St. Terry. Straight to the Palace of the Night, the Shali Palace is nestled in front of St. Terry. His Royal Highness St. Terry. I'm not doing well in this drama, right? He. St. Terry flicked her forehead. You can't use the means of hurting yourself to complete the task in the future, you know? I will feel distressed. Yes, there was even more love in Sha Li Gong's eyes. St. Terry observes the situation from the video in the Palace of Void Night. Finally, it's almost time. Let's take a good look and taste the pain called World Purgatory, Kozuki time. First, use their usual methods to make you completely lose your personality. It depends on when you can remember me completely. 1 month? 3 months? Half a year? Or a year? I will wait for you slowly, the ability of the fruit of time, I will taste it slowly. Otherwise, you are too strong. Once the seastone handcuffs are released, you will use your ability to escape, which is not acceptable. But Hancock's temper there is really, as expected of a person with qualifications. When she is older, it is time to send it out. Then set up a time-space teleportation anchor at the door in her ship, and you can't support her here anymore. Hancock, she's a little too bad-tempered. St. Terry was amazed. Enjoying the service from Shao-Li Palace, a decision was made. Shanks has been with Grimmjow for 6 full months. During this half year, Shanks also understood what kind of existence Grimmjow, Jack was. Tsunere fighting maniac, big blue snow leopard, clear love and hate. For things in the world that are uncomfortable, he draws his sword directly, and he will use his sharp claws to grab back and forth with his claws for things he likes. For such a powerful, dependable and lovable travel companion, Shanks wanted to pull him into his boat. Finally, over the banquet, Shanks made an invitation. Grimmjow, come on my ship and be my navigator. Are you still talking nonsense until now? Grimmjow grunted and said something that embarrassed Shanks. Shanks scratched his head. Beside him, his shipmates had already started to act, taunting Shanks mercilessly. Ha ha ha. Shanks is that kind of guy. Grimmjow, he's old and dull. Usopp giggled and laughed, rather unconscionably. If he wasn't like that, would you still like Grimmjow? Ben Beckman also wiped his saber. Like? I've never followed you because I liked it. It's just according to His Highness St. Terry's words, I need to go out and see more and see more. You don't. 537. Grimmjow spat. In an instant, cheerful laughter erupted from the banquet. But I'm on the same road as you. Yes. We've been on the same road for 6 months, ha 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 ha. Shanks. Look how cute Grimmjow is. Grimmjow's forehead burst with veins. You guys, be careful to be torn to pieces by me. Yes, are we going to bury our bodies completely under the sea? We can all swim. Grimmjow, and you can't swim. Shanks listened to the jokes of the crew and watched Grimmjow's gesture of resistance but not resistance, and couldn't help but feel happy. Grimmjow, our name will be heard in the world. Let the man of Mariajoy see us watching. After all, it has been a long time since St. Terry went into hiding. The activities of Ulquiorra, Grimmjow, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara can be seen everywhere. Number 1 Espada and Number 2 Espada have been distributed all over the world for free activities. The world has already begun to hear rumors about the event of St. Terry becoming a god. Especially now that Naval Headquarters Rear Admiral Ulquiorra himself admitted on the news that His Royal Highness St. Terry can give their members of the Night Palace these virtual evolution with a higher level of life. All of these undoubtedly made Shanks misunderstand the situation. Misunderstood that Grimmjow is being sent down by St. Terry. The best you can do. Grimmjow rarely said anything harsh. He knew how Shanks looked to St. Terry. Shanks is someone who is valued by St. Terry, there is no need to belittle it. Besides, he also thinks Shanks are not bad people. I will do it, I will. Sometimes what is valuable is a source of danger. What is worthless is not cared for. Shanks had to make a name for himself if he wanted to show his worth in front of St. Terry in the world. Naval Headquarters. Sengoku has been promoted to Marshal, and seeing the recent turmoil in the sea, especially the existence of Espada in Suya Palace, he supported his forehead and felt his head swell. Garp, you asked Ulquiorra to bring it over to me, I'll ask again. You're going to bully Xiao Wu again. He's an honest man. Sengoku, how can you do this? Garp looks good recently, thanks to the happiness after getting his grandson Ace, especially when he is teaching Ace to exercise, that is when he is happiest. Seeing Ace sleeping in Rouge's arms all day long, he is also very happy. Bull the fart. I want to ask him about Grimmjow. Why is Espada, who is also a virtual Night Palace, he joined Marine, but that Grimmjow went to be a pirate? Roger's remnants get more and more familiar with each other. Speaking of this, Sengoku was angry from the bottom of his heart. Damn, what's wrong with Grimmjow? Going to be a pirate with Roger's remnants? Didn't His Highness St. Terry's order make them stabilize the sea? Stabilize the world? Who knows this? Anyway, His Royal Highness St. Terry has been in retreat for a long time. He also fell silent on Mariajoy, only haunting the Void Night Palace. God knows what he is doing. Garp buttoned his booger, too lazy to move to shout Ulquiorra, and didn't want that Ulquiorra to be blamed by Sengoku. He admired Ulquiorra, Marine's next generation pillar. There is no need to join the Hawk faction, nor the Dove faction, nor the World Government faction. Sakazuki appreciates Ulquiorra's ruthless and decisive style of obeying military orders and destroying pirates. Kuzan likes Ulquiorra. He is ignorant of human affection, and will appease family members and civilians everywhere after the event. Polsolino is better. I can't say I appreciate it or like it, it's only Ulquiorra's lead. After all, Espada in the World Government's Virtual Night Palace is still Polsolino's boss. Simply, one person unites the factions up and down Marine. How could such a good seedling be taught badly by Sengoku? Does Sengoku know how to teach people? Teach people to watch him garp. Ulquiorra can say less than a Marine Marshal. Garp, give it to me. Sengoku. Don't worry, I also brought you good tea and snacks from Mariajoy this time. Go 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 go. Don't show me your bastards who eat and drink in the name of His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Sengoku was stimulated by Garp's joy again. Damn it. Why do I want to be a marshal? Garp is so happy and spends his days with his grandson on Mariajoy. And I still have a headache about the situation in the sea. When will this work be a problem? Polsolino, you go and call Ulquiorra for me. In the office of Marshal Marine, Polsolino, who was not on a mission, was still sitting. He shrugged and responded helplessly. Marshal Sengoku, have you forgotten? You sent him to Wano-kuni yesterday to negotiate with Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama between Espada. You even let him drop by to clean up the disobedient pirates about New World. He probably won't be back in 3 days at the earliest. Polsolino's words were also filled with emotion. I didn't expect my boss Ulquiorra to be so busy. Like he is now a naval headquarters vice admiral, he can still drink tea and fish freely. Humans are truly incomparable. Hey, it is probably too busy and tired, so the so-called His Royal Highness Saint Terry will hide his whereabouts and stop worrying about world affairs, right? What would the Highness want? Is there anything in this world that he can't get? I didn't expect you to use Xiao Wu like this. Sengoku, you're such a shameless old bastard. Xiao Wu is a commodore, so what have you used it for? Garp scolded Sengoku righteously. Sengoku also supported this. Ulquiorra works great too. Simply the best subordinate. Tireless, will not refuse, will not complain, powerful, can fly, cannot use food, cannot supply, and can complete tasks efficiently and perfectly. Really addicted. Thinking about the personalities of Sakazuki, Kuzan, and Polsolino, and how easy it was to get them to do things, Sengoku wished that the entire marine was full of Ulquiorra-like beings. His Royal Highness Saint Terry, can't he manage the sea? Oh, about this, I asked him 2 days ago. Garp suddenly said something surprising. In an instant, Polsolino and Sengoku looked sideways. This matter can be said to be the most important. As long as His Royal Highness Saint Terry is willing to come forward, the tranquility of the sea will immediately usher in. His Royal Highness Saint Terry is a world-class deterrent. What did His Highness Saint Terry say? Sengoku's heart beat faster. If it is said that it is preparing a secret weapon, secret personnel, and surpassing the existence of Espada like Ulquiorra, it will be even better. As long as you give him 20, no, 10 existences like Ulquiorra, Sengoku promises that as long as 10 years, he will be able to make the world governed by the sea clear and peaceful. He said that the world is his, and more importantly, ours. He sits on the throne at the end of the sky, and it is true that he becomes a belief and allows the world to run on its own. Speaking of which, I can't see through his mental appearance at that time. I can't sense the breath of life in him anymore. If it wasn't for me standing in front of him exactly, I wouldn't be able to perceive it. Garp also sighed with emotion and laughed. Maybe, he has become a god. Look, you've already eaten the Eudemon's Buddha, so it's not surprising that Saint Terry became a god directly, right? Dong dong dong. Hearing this, Sengoku raised his forehead. This is the biggest bad news for, and in fact, Saint Terry just continued to lie down in the Nether Palace to get rewards. He is already at the pinnacle of this world, and he has no higher rewards to obtain if he makes another move. Only by lying down for a long time can the level of the reward be improved. Now, everyone in the world thinks I'm about to become a god. Then I should also directly show my power as a god. The image is confirmed. At the top of the kingship, it is impossible to continue to climb. Then there is only divine power above kingship. He wants to climb into the image of a god and get the higher and better rewards of the lay-flat system. After all, he has never obtained the mythical reward, the world reward, and the higher reward displayed by the system above the legendary level. Just curious. On top of that, what is it? Then it's time, my dear number 0 Espada. representing the savior of humanity destroyer. Sesshoun Kiera, let the world indulge in your salvation. A graceful and beautiful woman bowed respectfully towards Saint Terry. Yes, His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Sesshoun Kiera comes from the worldview of Qiwuhai. In the moon world, no matter which world line, which parallel world is a born saint. Fraternity, unrestricted by any prejudice, loves the world equally, and vows to free people from suffering. Even though he was betrayed many times, he still did not change his aspirations and was called the last saint. Her soul of the Savior was born, making everyone in the world irresistible. The power called wandering of colors can make intelligent creatures involuntarily attracted to it. Because of yin and yang, she should be the one who saves the world. It is in the moon world, but it has repeatedly become an existence like the final trial that destroys the world and human beings. And now such a terrible savior soul, but it was given to Saint Terry through the lying flat system. Her pure and uncontaminated savior soul, and with the physical body that Saint Terry has cultivated with all his strength. It can be said that the current Espada number 0 is about to reach his level of strength. Logically speaking, a savior-like existence like this will immediately rebel against Saint Terry. After all, Saint Terry, as celestial dragons, is a hateful aristocrat who suppresses the world. But Saint Terry, who became the master of the soul of Kiera of Sesshoun, has become the supreme god in the eyes of Kiera of Sesshoun. In the eyes of Qiwuhai of the Slaughter Institute, he also became the person in the world who needs to be loved the most. There is only one person she wants to save, and that is Saint Terry. To this end, others, including Sesshoun Kiera herself, she was willing to sacrifice. Saint Terry's eyes also involuntarily aimed at Kiera of the Sesshoun. Her perfect figure, the beauty that is so delicate that words cannot describe, and the exaggerated and attractive emotions that every inch of her body reveals. Even Saint Terry is currently affected. The gushing out of his body is more terrifying than the awakening of fruit abilities such as sweet fruit, mei fruit, and succubus fruit. She was the first woman who could make Saint Terry be deeply attracted by her. This masterpiece has far surpassed IM. Remember to go to Grimmjow, Ulquiorra, Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama to say hello. Then go to guide the rebels, and then go to the local forces to let them know about your special existence. Of course remember to dress tightly and wrap tightly. I don't like my woman being targeted by other guys. Showing your face is enough. Saint Terry's playful possessiveness made Sesshoun Kiera's delicate and beautiful face appear ecstatic. Yes, Your Highness Saint Terry, your orders are obeyed. Sesshoun Kiera had an idea for Saint Terry. Heed his orders wholeheartedly. It is her honor to be cared for and watched by His Royal Highness Saint Terry. The red print of number 0 tattooed on the back of your hand can be displayed. The rest, remember not to mess around. I am not far away, also ran over with a look of vinegar. She wanted to see what kind of fairy, can she be more beautiful than her? More suffocating than her? Why is Tai Li Shang's mood not right? Have you ever thought about other women? Weird. She doesn't believe it anymore. In this world, can there be any creation more beautiful than her? With this idea in mind, I am running. Until she saw Kiera, the slaughterhouse serving Saint Terry. She just found out, what a suffocating beauty. That dwarfed shame, and the beauty she was so attracted to. Makes Im's brain go numb. How? How is this possible? Why is there such a woman? Even the thing between that woman and Saint Terry. Im didn't even care. The whole person's thoughts were all attracted and paid attention to by Kiera of the Killing Institute. It's hard for Im to imagine that there are such people in the world. I am not feeling relieved until the Sesshoun Kiera left her side. If it wasn't for Saint Terry's buttoning and tapping on her head, Im couldn't even struggle. And after waking up, Im's first words were, "You. Dot, are you really going to send her out? Stunning as she is, it will confuse the sea." Saint Terry directly interrupted Im's statement. Extremely peaceful. No force will resist her coming. She's a symbol in her own right. There will be countless people who can't wait to get her favor, even the slightest gaze. She will inspire the ambition of countless people. But this is better. Now she is suitable for setting the stage for me. The sea has been peaceful for too long, and the peace created by me must be rolled up again. Otherwise, how can I continue to climb up? In order to appear holy in front of people and become the image of God, believers must do the basic propaganda. The slaughterhouse Qiwuhai is the most suitable. I am a little confused. She has a strong reluctance and nostalgia for Kiera in the Sesshoun. You're fascinated by her, Imam. Just seeing it like this, even you were fascinated. I can already predict the situation of the sea. Was shocked when he heard Saint Terry's words. I have to admit that what Saint Terry said is correct. Indeed so. Okay, let's continue to take a good look at the situation in Zai Palace. The believers recruited by Kiera of Szechuan will only appear from those nobles, powerful pirates, and bandits. She will do things to save the world, such as cutting taxes. It will also allow those non-joined countries to be protected by pirates, so that the lives of the bottom people can be guaranteed. You have to believe in her charm. I am asked back, worried about Szechuan Kiera himself. What if she gets hurt? Or is she taken away? Hearing this sentence, Saint Terry laughed outright. In that case, Qiwuhai will show them how powerful the so-called number 0 Espada is. She is currently the closest in strength to me, number 0 Espada. Saint Terry is extremely confident in the strength of the Szechuan Kiera. Im's worry turned into a joke like a little fool worrying about the landlord's lack of room. 2 days later, Szechuan Kiera was wearing a very thick white robe of the Void Palace, with gloves on his hands, and only showed his face to the naval headquarters. It's just that standing there. Let one naval headquarters officer after another obsessed. If it wasn't for her wearing the clothes of the Void Knight Palace. I am afraid that there are already many people who can't hold themselves back and want to start a conversation with him. Even so, the strong impact had already disrupted the normal naval headquarters order. Report. Marshal Sengoku, a new member of the Nether Palace, has arrived at the naval headquarters port. She called herself Szechuan Kiera, and she came on behalf of His Highness Saint Terry's thoughts. Sengoku is still busy in the office, giving Ulquiorra a mission. Ulquiorra has just taken a long detour from Wano Kuni to clean up the disobedient arrogant pirates, and has just returned to naval headquarters to accept the appointment. To clean up Grimjiao, give Grimjiao a bloodhorse lesson. Very bitter. Ulquiorra's days are already full of work. Dealing with Grimjiao is simply trivial. Sometimes, he has to go to Wano Kuni to deal with Kaido, use Dark Fruit's ability to completely wipe out Kaido's dragon fruit power, and then use his own powerful power to help Kaido relax his muscles. Then let her in, just to meet Ulquiorra here. No. Marshal Sengoku, the main thing has gone wrong. Sengoku frowned again when he heard that there was a problem. Wouldn't it be that this slaughterhouse Kuang, the new Espada, is also a big problem child? What is the problem? It's the problem of our naval headquarters operators, who are surrounded by Kiera of the Szechuan and refuse to leave at all. Even Kuzan Vice Admiral is surrounded by there. As soon as this sentence comes out, Sengoku instantly put down the things in his hands. A solemn face. What's the situation? To be able to make Kuzan fascinated. What kind of fruit power? Ulquiorra, do you know Kiera of Szechuan? Ulquiorra shook his head. I don't know, His Royal Highness Saint Terry never mentioned this before me. Ulquiorra's response gave Sengoku a headache. Come and see with me, Ulquiorra. You ask Sakazuki to immediately clear the alert. The naval headquarters port is completely quarantined. All people below the level of Vice Admiral stay away from the port. There was only solemnity on Sengoku's face. For Espada who can confuse Kuzan. That power is beyond imagination. What a joke with Kuzan's combat power. Devil Fruit's power can be completely resisted by Haki. Kuzan is now ready for Admiral, and his strength Haki's strength is the best among Marines. If the power used by the other party can't even bear Kuzan's heart and Haki, then naval headquarters may be destroyed by the existence called Kiera of Szechuan. Fallen because of her arrival. Yes. Naval headquarters declared a state of emergency. Yes. Sengoku just hopes it doesn't get too bad. Wano Kuni, Kaido, who had just been beaten up by Ulquiorra, was drinking angrily. Made, what a seedling Ulquiorra. Why don't you rely on me? Why? Why are those who came to Wano Kuni, Mr. Uchiha, and Mr. Senju? Kaido felt an uncomfortable feeling in his heart. Want subordinates, in the end, it was two fathers who came to him. Two ancestors. The kind that needs to be served. Otherwise Kaido will be the best bag and pet in their battle. Simply. Kaido had never been so stuffy. The key is not yet. Kaido's temper has also improved a lot recently from Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. For no other reason, he became angry and Senju Hashirama disciplined him for him. A big wooden dragon absorbed his stamina and Haki. Also pissed off. Even Senju Hashirama prevented him from using force. They put a Katsuyu on him, just to keep an eye on him at all times. Made. If it wasn't for the fact that I couldn't beat Mr. Senju. I'll be back right away. Boss Kaido, it's not good, You read the latest newspaper. What's wrong? Grimjow, he joined the redhead Shank's boat. What? I'm so good to Grimjow. How the hell did he run away? Kaido's anger welled up, and the veins on his forehead burst. The weather began to change dramatically. At the same time, a sticky little Katsuyu crawled out of Kaido's collar. Mr. Kaido, you are angry again. This is not acceptable. I immediately called Mr. Senju over. The moment I heard this sentence, Kaido fell to his knees. What a joke. You asked Mr. Senju to come over. Do you want Lao Su to make a fool of himself in front of his hands? No. Miss Katsuyu. Don't ask Mr. Senju to come here. I just think the weather is hot. Let it cool down. You see the wind is blowing? Kaido transforms into a dragon, where he controls the weather, blows the wind awkwardly, and coaxes little Katsuyu who is lying on top of him. Why should Lao Su suffer this crime? His Royal Highness Saint Terry. Give me another espada to help me with my luck. Okay. Really arrived after Sengoku met Sessho and Kiera. Only then did he realize that he was wrong. He is an old man who is 56 years old. Dedicated to the justice of Kun facing the sea. However, after seeing the first glance of Chi Huang's face in the Killing Institute, he was lost. That's right. I just lost my mind. In his mind, he felt that justice on the sea might not be as important as the woman in front of him. Maybe. He can also have a good future. As long as you serve her and follow her, you may be able to get justice completely. Such an idea, when Sengoku reacts, there was a lot of cold sweat oozing from his back. Such a woman, too scary. He has already defended himself repeatedly with hockey. But no use at all. Sengoku, the hockey he has practiced for decades is like a ridiculous toy. No use at all, the charm of the other party comes through hockey. Hit the soul. Just saw her face, cannot extricate themselves. Marshal Sengoku, His Highness Saint Terry specially ordered me to come here and tell you that I will be active in the sea, and I hope you can be accommodating. There are some things, I hope you can turn a blind eye. As soon as these words came out, Sengoku shuddered. Want to agree, crazy to say yes, if Marshal Sengoku doesn't agree, then I'll take it as my agreement. Sengoku couldn't even open his mouth, he could only nod his head with a wrinkled old face. Obviously he is a very strict person, in front of Kiera, the killing house. Also like the most loyal lackey, she is not demon fruit power. She is an even more terrifying being. Another month passed. World sensation. Espada, number 0 of the Suya Palace, named Kuang of the Killing House. Wherever he goes to the non-joining countries, he is conquered by its charm. Pirates, rebels, and civilians are all amazing. It even made the country that was the main battlefield of the resistance army temporarily defect to the world government, causing the resistance army to get great losses. Most of the rebel army defected with the 4 major cadres of the rebel army and became followers and believers of Sessho and Kiera. The heavily damaged rebels were cleared of their dens. And only a few scattered key personnel escaped. On top of this, the world government has re-established its prestige. And Monkey D. Dragon, after this battle, disappeared. Hey, that dragon, just fell like this? Doflamingo looks at the newspaper in his hand. It feels incredible, he's been planning big things recently. It was about how to take refuge with Saint Terry. As a result, some neglected the news, and as a result, the news in the newspapers accumulated for a month, made Doflamingo wonder if the world has changed again. First Ulquiorra joined Marine, then Grimjow joined the ship of the remnant of the Sea King of Thieves. The two monsters, Espada number 1 and Espada number 2, directly made Kaido not dare to lose his temper. This number 0 Espada is absolutely incredible. Let all the rebels under Dragon's hands betrayed. What a joke. That's the stronghold of their resistance army. Doflamingo's fingers creaked as he squeezed the newspaper. He had met the rebels, and even did business with them to provide them with military reserves. Those guys can be described as savages who are not afraid of death. If it wasn't for their firm beliefs, Doflamingo would also want to draw 1 or 2 into his family. What are you kidding now? Those cadres would actually take refuge in that woman. The killing house is praying for the famine. That means my subordinates will also face that woman. What Doflamingo hates most is betrayal. The perception that no one was counting on him, and that he had to be careful, drove Doflamingo mad. What happened to the sea now? Are there going to be a riot? Still? Doflamingo's head hurts, and he originally wanted to take advantage of the general trend and become the person in the eyes of Saint Terry. Now it looks like a big joke. Wherever that slaughterhouse Kiera simply appeared, the situation could be completely peaceful and stable. Let the hostile forces take the initiative to take refuge. So how does he develop? Dover. Doflamingo just thought of this. Try to think of countermeasures. As a result, his subordinates interrupted his thoughts. What's wrong? Something is not very good. That slaughterhouse Kuang is now facing us. Our slave trade has suffered heavy losses. North Blue is completely destroyed, all betrayed. At West Blue, it's not too good, and most of the guys are starting to lose their morals. Dover, her next step is Mermaid Island. What are we going to do? Dong 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 like a thunderbolt from the blue. Straight to Doflamingo's heart. What comes to your mind? This is the worst thing ever. After a while, he began to laugh through gritted teeth. Very good. That's good, isn't it? Sesshoin Kiera represents that person's idea. Since that one feels that the slave trade is out of fashion, then we won't touch it in the future. And through the previous relationship, let those old subordinates, who betrayed the past, let me meet the Killing Institute Kiera. This may be an opportunity to connect with that person. Doflamingo sorts out the situation in an instant. For number 0 Espada, does he dare to move? Dare not. First of all, there is no strength. Secondly, he was afraid that he would betray the past involuntarily when he saw the slaughterhouse Kuang. Rather than being embarrassed by then, so why not just rely on the past? Sesshoin Kiera represents that Saint Terry. Dover, you mean we can use this to connect with Saint Terry? That's right. Weren't we troubled some time ago? How can we improve our reputation? Now, Shishungyuan Kuang. Oh, Lord Shishungyuan is already our best intermediary contact. What if we integrate our forces into the past? Doflamingo laughed. Until 2 days, after he successfully met the slaughterhouse Kuang. Doflamingo regretted it to a certain extent. Why did he want to meet the slaughterhouse Kuang? That woman, a frown, a smile, a frown, any word. He was in complete control of his thoughts and thoughts. Doflamingo completely lost control of his own will. Only then did he regret it. Then, I will inform His Royal Highness Saint Terry of the news that you have taken refuge with His Highness Saint Terry. His Royal Highness Saint Terry will definitely appreciate the fact that you have come to your senses and started to crack down on the slave trade. The words after Kiera of Sesshoin left, let Doflamingo reminisce for a long time. He was numb. And suddenly and indirectly received Saint Terry from Kiera of the Killing Institute. At this moment, it was when he was being trained in Kozuki. A finger was inserted into her mouth, hooking her tongue. Huh? You mean Doflamingo has taken refuge in you? And gave you all the accounts? Ha 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 ha. He still seems to be a little smart. Then, inform him and prepare to meet me at Mariajoy in a month. Speaking of which, I haven't been angry with him for a long time. Hey, it's good to meet you. Doflamingo has awakened conquerors anyway. He is a managerial talent and can be used. It's good to keep the order of the dark market transactions in grand line. You can't let Chi Huang run all the time, can you? Kozuki pretended not to hear it at all, still crawling in front of Saint Terry. Be happy. This is how Kozuki has changed since she endured a year of brutal punishment by celestial dragons. She lost her original self. However, it doesn't matter. It would be nice if her daughter could live and maintain herself.